Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a quick look at Matic and obviously understand a little bit more about what's going to happen next. We might cover dollar cost average targets and just generally what the next steps might be here for Matic, and obviously understand hopefully big picture. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, so if you are new to the channel, not a I don't tell you what to do. I just try to help you become better traders so you can make your own decisions. That's the whole point of this channel, is to ensure that you can be a better trader for yourself and obviously take ownership of your trades. Now, more importantly, something to understand too is I have a trading academy and community where we all learn and grow together. I teach you how to become a better trader with pretty much every step of the way, and also provide you with signals too, so you understand generally what I'm doing at all times and maybe help you structure some trades more effectively. So really cool stuff. Check that out in your own time. But why don't we go ahead and jump into here with Matic. Now, 1 day chart, let's go ahead and start obviously with the first key stuff here. In my opinion, I like to look at the moving averages, and we can see the prices below both. So the 200 is notoriously a strong resistance level, and the 50 is coming down as well. So commonly those two combination is not really ideal. In other words, when the price action comes down, the 50 tends to push the price action down with it. And when it's right here as well, coming into or essentially intersecting with a 200, it's commonly referred to as a death cross. So the price is coming down, not really ideal in that sense. So we could expect that to create some resistance and push the price action down. Again, I try not to buy into major resistances, especially when both are kind of converging, so to speak, at a similar time, or diverging together here soon. So in the next week or two, we're going to see that happen, and it could effectively push the price action down. We're also under 50 on the RSI, never a great sign, and we have a bearish divergence in the MACD. So the likelihood of Matic just kind of recovering to the upside is pretty low. It's making lower highs and lower lows, and we got to respect the fact that that might continue for some time, at least until we reach a state of exhaustion. Speaking of exhaustion, we're probably not seeing anything at all. We've got a reset down to a 4, up to a 3, and now down to a 2. So we literally could see 7 more days of continuation on the downside. All right. Not trying to scare you or concern you. We have a decent amount of volume here, of course. We look at the volume profile, you can tell there's a lot of volume accumulation at the current price point. And this is roughly, again, over the last 2 months worth of trading. So in the last 2 months, we've seen a lot of volume there recently, but if we kind of go big picture here, we can see a tremendous amount of volume below the current price point. So the price could literally continue to fall. So I wouldn't expect, what I guess would be 147 to 160. I would expect that to be a support channel. Yes, we'll probably see a lot of support here, and the price shouldn't drop below that. But if it does, just note, it doesn't really have much below that. Again, there's a decent amount of volume previously. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, the most amount of volume accumulation is down here from a couple years ago. But for lack of better terms here, I wouldn't get too comfortable and think that the bottom isn't going to drop out, because it very well could, especially with this bearish type of divergence that we're in, and that death cross, so to speak. There's really nothing positive here on the macro for Matic at this moment, because again, it was overextended. It's retracing later than Bitcoin has as well, which basically just means it's playing catch up now. So again, not great, not good. Kind of, I would say more adverse than positive, but it's not like the sky is not falling, for lack of better terms, right? So again, support channel here between 147 roughly and 160. Pretty close estimate there. So again, we're kind of on a razor's edge here. Once we drop into that little area, we should have that as a support level, but I don't think we're going to hold 160 for much longer, especially with both these moving averages working their way down as well. That's also not a great sign. So that could keep the price action lower, and we're also under 50 on the RSI, and of course under, basically we got a, well, this is the only consolation. We got a potential MACD convergence here. And of course, if you've seen what happened before with the previous MACD convergence, it did recover and did increase. That's when Bitcoin recovered as well. Again, similar behavior to Bitcoin in that sense, but we're still making lower highs, right? And still making lower lows. Not a good sign, right? So if the price were to come back and recover, just say in the immediate future, we shouldn't expect it to come anywhere higher than 180. That'd probably be the highest point, but more likely 170, which again is very synonymous with Bitcoin's behavior right now, trying to bounce off of 39.5 up to 41,500. Okay, same stuff there. So again, not good here for Matic. The midterm doesn't look great. We could see a price increase. I think that would probably be an inevitability. Keep in mind too, with us being under 50 on the RSI, that does it's common for the price to come down and bounce off 30 and come back up to 50. So again, we could expect to see the price, I would say 170 to 180 is a best case scenario, right? We could see a little bounce, which we're expecting with Bitcoin too. I'm thinking we're going to see 41, 41.5. So it would be no different with Matic, especially how low it's been held recently, right? This is a pretty decent amount of retracement. We look at TD sequential too. We got this extreme exhaustion here, so to speak, where the price came down to a 9 and went into overtime. Then it got pushed back down to another 9. Now we're consolidating back up to a 1. Or sorry, that went up to a 5, down to a 6, now to a 3. So we have potential of about 6 more hours worth of continuation to the upside. So again, best case scenario, we come up to test 170 and kind of get rejected out. It's probably a best case scenario. In my personal opinion, I don't think we should expect Matic to shoot for the moon, so to speak. Now, regarding the moon, I guess, just touching on that, or just generally what could happen here. Let's go with some dollar cost average targets and maybe some profit targets. Okay, so DCA target most immediate would probably be somewhere in the range of 150. I think that's a good round number to shoot for. It's not around, it's not exactly 147, but it's definitely close. So 150. Again, DCA targets should be just above a key level support. So 150 as well as 132. Those would probably be two good DCA targets. And keep in mind, there's potential. Not saying it's going to happen, but there is potential based on the previous support and the amount of volume that we have. We could very well see somewhere in the range of 97 to 110. So I think 110 would probably be a pretty good DCA target as a tertiary target to potentially shoot for. Now the inverse, if we were to see the price kind of come up, so to speak, from here, just say hypothetically the price were to come up, we could see a range of about 230, 242, and 260 as the most immediate potential targets for Matic. Okay, so again, those are more best case scenarios. I don't think we should get our mindset there. We still got to break this most recent high to kind of dissolve that lower high, lower low pattern. That's not good. Traditionally speaking, it's a resistance channel, and we should expect the price to continue to digress lower based on that sentiment, right? So generally kind of what we're looking at. So again, not great for Matic. We got a lot of room for improvement, but I would set your sights on some DCA targets because it's more likely to come down than it is to up. But if it comes to the upside, 170, 180 would probably be a best case scenario. Unless it breaks 180 and makes a higher high, then that we'd celebrate, right? If we're at 190, then that would be a cause for a potential turnaround, and then we can reevaluate. Between now and then, lower high and lower low pattern, it's almost inevitable we're going to see 147 or just say 150 like I'd recommend, and or 132. Okay, those are two good DCA targets I feel. Much more realistic than 110, but 110 is still on the cards. Okay. All right, hope you found benefit here, of course. Thanks again so much for joining me here. If you're not currently a community member, consider joining CryptoCache.tech. I send out signals for every single trade that I take. Helping you structure trades, and also make sure that you understand there is a really vast trading library to ensure that you understand how to become a better trader. I look forward to working with you. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for your time.